Morning, Dothan police arrested a minor student in the Dothan City school system, charging them with making terroristic threats in the first degree. But other schools were subject to rumors of possible violence. Officials say none of those threats were direct or credible, but they beefed up security as a precaution. Responding to criticism about schools remaining open, officials say student safety is their #1 priority, and they would never put any student, staff member, or educator in jeopardy.
If we ever felt like there was an actual credible threat, we would shut the school down. If I felt like the threats that we were hearing about last night, if they came back and said that any of those were deemed credible, we wouldn't have had school today.
We'll hear more from White and Sheriff Donald Valenza at 6, including their thoughts on responsible social media usage. But for now, in the newsroom, Brian Boggiano, WDHN News for the Wiregrass.
And Eufaula City Schools reopening today following threats. Eufaula High School received a violent threat Wednesday evening through email. And after consulting with police, officials took precaution and closed all city schools and Lakeside School on Thursday. Police announced Thursday afternoon they were questioning a juvenile and another suspect, though details surrounding the suspects are scarce, with one of them being a juvenile.
And Enterprise High and the Tech Center were locked down Thursday after a bag of ammunition was found in a student's backpack. 3 students were arrested. None are facing charges. However, they will face disciplinary action from the school, and no gun was found on campus. That lockdown was lifted after about an hour, and today school activities returned to normal. Meanwhile, the teenage suspect accused of fatally shooting 2 teachers and 2 students along with his father made their first court appearances in Georgia today.
Investigators say Colin Gray gave his son the AR-style rifle that was later used in the massacre as a Christmas gift. Morgan Norwood has the latest.
The father and son charged in connection to Wednesday's deadly mass shooting at Appalachia High School, making their first appearances separately, but in the same courtroom. 14-year-old Colt Gray, first to go before a judge, charged as an adult in the rampage that killed 2 of his peers and 2 teachers. The DA warning more charges are on the way.
When he was taken into custody on Wednesday, we did not have the identities or the conditions of the other victims. So we were not able to charge on those offenses. So when the evidence comes in and they've been able a chance to heal physically, emotionally, and spiritually, we will get with them, and there will be additional charges that address the other victims in the case.
Colt's father, Colin, facing the same judge less than an hour later. According to sources, investigators believe he gifted Colt the AR-style rifle that was later used in the shooting. Gray seen rocking back and forth in his chair throughout the hearing. According to sources familiar with the investigation, Colt Gray had an apparent affinity for mass shooters. Authorities combing through concerning social media posts believed to be from Colt, including one threat to shoot up a middle school. The concern of missed warning signs comes as Colt's aunt tells the Washington Post the teen struggled with his mental health.
So she said that her nephew had made it clear to people around him, adults in his life, that he was suffering from severe mental health issues.
As authorities work to determine a possible motive in the massacre, the community grieving the loss of Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angulo, both 14 years old, along with teachers Christina Ermery and Richard Aspinwall.
And both Colin and Colt Gray are being held without bond and are due back in court December 4th. Now, if convicted, they could spend the rest of their lives behind bars. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
And a school shooting in Maryland leaves 1 teen injured and another is in custody. The shooting happened today at Jopotown High School. Investigators believe there was an altercation between 2 students, a 16-year-old and a 15-year-old victim inside a men's bathroom. The 15-year-old was airlifted to the hospital in serious condition, and the 16-year-old suspect, who was on his first day of school, ran off campus but was caught in a nearby apartment complex. The weapon, however, has not been found.
Breaking news tonight, a Troy man is behind bars accused of killing his wife. Police arrested Benjamin Hill after getting a call about a shooting in the area. When they arrived, they found Jennifer Hill inside of the house suffering from a gunshot wound. She was rushed to a local hospital where she would later die. Police say that Benjamin was at the scene during this and was taken into custody for questioning. Officers now charging Hill with murder and booking him into the Troy County Jail. This case is still developing. Stay with WDHN News and we'll update you with the latest both on air and online. Tonight, the Wiregrass under flooding threats with heavy rain moving into the area.
And it comes as we've been in a drought, but that could very well change after today. This same system has been hitting other parts of the South rather hard. Louisiana seeing rising waters, and the traveling on the roads is very dangerous for drivers. And in West Texas, that fast-moving water trenching homes and roadways One man had to be rescued from a tree after flash flooding.
Chief Meteorologist Chad Crilly joins us now with what impacts could be seen here in the Wiregrass.
Jess, Michael, mostly it's going to be rainfall occurring through our Friday evening and into Saturday as well. So let's begin by showing you our Viper radar. And there is somewhat of a gradient here between where it's raining and where it's not. Notice we have a light, steady rain coming down in Houston County, Dothan included in this, and in Geneva County. From Elba to Ozark, Dale and Coffee County, we're dry right now. Same with most of Henry County. But some of these showers are trying to work their way north. So no matter where you are, it is going to be a soggy evening. We can thank this stationary boundary, which is just offshore now, for the active weather. Notice how the boundary has been trying to creep towards the north, so that's why we're seeing the influx of rain showers. Here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast. There might be a lull in the activity over the next few hours, but most of the guidance here tonight does show another round of moderate rain moving in while most of us are sleeping very early Saturday morning, and then showers continuing at least through the early afternoon on Saturday. So another 1 to 2 inches of rain are possible. If you're heading out tonight, just make sure you bring the umbrella with you. Drizzle showers possible. Temperatures will be in the lower 70s. Coming up here in just a couple of minutes, we're going to show you some drier days and then also a new storm system that may arrive later next week. That's all ahead.
Tonight, a truck drives straight into a train early this morning in Webb. Officers on the scene tell us that at around 7:30 this morning, a box truck failed to yield to an incoming train and hit the train's second locomotive engine. The train continued down the track until it was able to come to a complete stop. According to Dothan police, no one was injured in the crash and the train did not derail. The crash occurred at the railroad crossings on North Beverly between Kelly Road and Columbia Highway and forced that crossing to close. And a Slocum man is dead after a single vehicle crash in Geneva County. According to Aaliyah troopers, James Patrick Davison was driving his car on Firecracker Road near Malvern Thursday morning when his car left the road and hit a tree. Troopers who rushed to the area pronounced him dead on the scene, and now they're investigating the crash. Stay with WDHN News, and we'll update you with the latest both on air and online.
Tonight, a crackdown on guns in Alabama's capital, requiring anyone carrying a firearm to have a photo ID. Montgomery's mayor signed the local ordinance, and it goes against the constitutional carry law that recently passed that did away with gun permits for concealed carry. According to the ordinance, Montgomery police can confiscate a concealed gun if the gun holder is not also carrying a photo ID. The firearm would remain in police custody until the gun holder pays a fine and provides proof of purchase to the local precinct within a month. And Governor Kay Ivey is calling for a special meeting of the State Board of Veterans Affairs to consider removing Kent Davis as the head of Alabama's VA department. Davis had until 5 p.m. yesterday to step down after the governor called for him to resign, alleging he mishandled American Rescue Plan funds, but he is refusing to resign, saying he respectfully disagrees with the inaccurate claims made against the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs.
An urgent warning from the FDA about recently recalled Jolly Rancher popsicles. The agency has upgraded them to Class 1 status for those with milk allergies, meaning eating them can cause serious illness or death. Unilever recalled these popsicles last month because they contain undeclared milk products not stated on the packaging. The recall only applies to single-serve popsicles in the flavors of green apple, blue raspberry, and grape.
I'm ABC's Perry Russom in Washington. Former President Trump calling E. Jean Carroll's defamation case against him disgraceful. That story coming up.
Plus, the latest jobs report is out. What that means for employers coming up.
And a Brazilian music legend who changed the landscape of American music has died. We have these stories and more when WDHN News at 5 continues.
You're watching WDHN News at 5.
Former President Trump in court today, his legal team appealing the decision to award E. Jean Carroll millions of dollars in his sexual assault and defamation case.
Trump speaking to reporters after apparently defaming Carroll again. Perry Russell has more.
Former President Trump in court appealing the $5 million decision for sexually abusing and defaming columnist E. Jean Carroll. The appeals court appearing skeptical of Trump's push for a new civil trial, telling Trump's lawyers it would be very hard to overturn the jury's verdict.
But this is a disgraceful case.
Trump later speaking at Trump Tower using similar defamatory language against Carroll he was held liable for.
But she made up a story, it's fabricated 100%. I never met her. I never touched her. It's a made-up, fabricated story by somebody, I think, initially just looking to promote a book.
Carroll's attorney listening in, telling ABC News all options are on the table. Trump mentioning another sexual assault accusation against him from the late 1970s, where a woman says she was molested by Trump on a plane.
It didn't happen, and she would not have been the chosen one. She would not have been the chosen one.
Trump's legal issues front and center with Election Day less than 2 months away. Today, the judge in Trump's felony hush money trial delaying his sentencing until November 26th, after Election Day. Yesterday, Trump's legal team pleading not guilty on his behalf in his revised election interference case. No trial date has been set. Meanwhile, the Harris campaign is launching an outreach program in Michigan for those who voted for Nikki Haley during the Republican primary there. About 300,000 people voted for Haley in Michigan. Perry Russell, ABC News, Washington.
The Labor Department releasing its latest jobs report for August today. The pivotal report just 2 months ahead of the presidential election, showing 142,000 new employer jobs and the unemployment rate falling to 4.2%. This is the first dip in unemployment since March, the added jobs falling short of what analysts forecasted. Experts add that despite the weakening job market, for now the economy is still adding a decent number of jobs. And stocks wrapping up their worst week since March of last year. The Nasdaq had its worst week since January of 2022. The Dow fell 410 points, the Nasdaq dropped 436, and the S&P fell 94 points.
The Boeing Starliner undocking from the International Space Station without any astronauts on board and returning back to Earth. It's expected to touch down in New Mexico just before midnight. No astronauts will be on board because of NASA's concerns over the craft's safety. The astronauts who hitched a ride to the ISS on the Starliner, Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, will stay on board the ISS to catch a ride home on a SpaceX capsule in February of next year.
And coming up later, an out-of-this-world view from the International Space Station. This and more after weather.
And it finally feels like fall here in the Wiregrass with the light, steady rain coming down. We'll show you how much more rain is to come and also which part of the weekend might be dry. That's ahead.
This weather segment is sponsored by Physicians Hearing Center. Now, your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chad Crilly.
It is a wet, sort of dreary Friday out there as we close out the work week. Showers have been around all day long, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Here's our weather setup. There is a stationary boundary just offshore, now lingering from Destin to Panama City. We're actually on the drier side of this boundary. It's why we're having a tough time getting some of those higher rainfall totals and thunderstorms. South of that boundary, across parts of the Gulf of Mexico, very heavy rain, strong storms, water spouts ongoing. For the rest of the evening, it's probably just going to be plain old rain for us here locally. And you can see this rain shield is starting to spread a little further north. So for the time being, we were just seeing showers across Houston County back into Geneva County. Now a little more light rain ongoing here across Dale County into Coffee County. Henry County also seeing some light showers. The heavy rain there is near Destin, where you're seeing some of those yellow and also red cells. So far today, we've picked up a little less rain than we thought we would, but still many spots picking up anywhere from a tenth to a quarter, close to up to half of an inch of rainfall, and I think we probably have another inch to inch and a half to come before this event is said and done. 73 right now at the Dothan Airport. It is raining there. An east-northeast breeze at 8 miles per hour. Saturated air mass, humidity at 94%. Dew point is in the lower 70s for us. The rain today has kept the temperatures down big time. It feels like fall. It's 73 right now in Ozark, 73 degrees in Enterprise, 75 in Geneva. We're checking in at 72 in Troy, 71 in Greenville. Mid-70s here back across the I-10 corridor as well. And through the next couple of hours, if you're heading out for Friday night football, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is we're not expecting any lightning, so that shouldn't be an issue for the game. The bad news is if you're going to be out there, it will be raining. Showers and drizzle likely, temperatures right around 71 degrees. I want to go hour by hour with you, showing you what's going to happen next with this system. So here's tonight at 8 o'clock. Drizzle showers still ongoing. Then we get another push possibly of some heavier rainfall while most of us are sleeping, 3-4 a.m. tonight. That may linger into the early morning hours on Saturday. A clap of thunder is possible. And then finally, this system pulls away from us on Saturday night. So Saturday is going to be a damp day with some more showers. Sunday looks a little unsettled too. There's another stationary boundary that's going to try to lift back north by Sunday evening. So that keeps at least low rain chances in the forecast. And between now and Sunday, many of us here, especially the further south you go, picking up another 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, isolated amounts up to 3. Because it's going to be spread out between Saturday and also now Sunday, we think the risk of flash flooding is very low, which is also great news because initially we thought that would be a concern as well. Monday and Tuesday look mostly cloudy, but they should be dry days, and then some indications of more stormy weather coming off the Gulf of Mexico by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Michael and Jess with a few more showers possible then.
I'm sick of the rain already.
It's been one day.
I don't like
one
it.
day of it.
I don't like it. Already sick of it.
It's certainly better than having a drought.
Jess needs to move to Arizona, where it just seems like it never rains there.
Just cook in the sun all day. I could do that.
I will say, I mean, the rain is a great thing. Obviously, we need anything we can get out of the drought
Severe
conditions.
Drought. Yeah, absolutely.
Farmers will very much appreciate the rain, but also the cooler temps. I think we're all happy and ready to get those. Well, coming up next, we'll